And now, from your local election headquarters, the only locally produced political talk show discussing the issues that matter to you. This is Big Country Politics on KTAB.
All right, thanks for being here for this week's edition of Big Country Politics. I'm Victor Sotelo. Right now, let's get straight to the political headlines across the nation, state, and the big country. The president says it would be unfortunate if the woman accusing Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh of attempted sexual assault doesn't testify next week. Angelica Alvarez has more details from the White House.
President Trump weighed in on the controversy surrounding his Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh and the woman accusing the judge of sexual assault decades ago.
Look, if she shows up and makes a credible showing, that'll be very interesting, and we'll have to make a decision.
But the president also continued to voice support for his nominee.
He is such an outstanding man. Very hard for me to imagine that anything happens.
Kavanaugh says the allegations are completely false and has committed to appear Monday before the Senate Judiciary Committee. His accuser, Dr. Christine Blasey Ford, has not yet accepted the invitation to testify.
The fact that they're saying it has to be you versus Kavanaugh on Monday as the only possibility to be heard, I find that not only stifling but outrageous.
Blasey has sent a letter to committee chairman Chuck Grassley saying an FBI investigation of the incident should be the first step. President Trump says a request for an FBI background investigation should come from the Senate, not him. But Chairman Grassley has sent a letter to Blasey's lawyer saying the committee cannot commandeer an executive branch agency.
We have to make plans for her to come, and that's what I'm concentrating on.
What if this was your daughter? Wouldn't you want some modicum of investigation and a sense of fair treatment? And that is not what's happening.
Should the FBI investigate the allegations?
Lawmakers have not said whether Monday's hearing will still go forward if Blasey doesn't appear. Angelica Alvarez, CBS News, the White House.
And Mark Judge, the man identified as the potential witness by Christine Ford, has written the Senate Judiciary Committee saying he does not remember the incident and does not want to testify. And KTAB is your local election headquarters. The November 6th general election is about 6 weeks away. And in all 254 counties in Texas, the people who are in charge of the elections are making sure the voting process is secure. Before each election, the counties make sure all of the voting machines are calibrated properly and that there can't be any interference. This group of election workers in Williamson County wants you to know that they check the system so voters will have confidence heading into the polls.
Free elections are the basis of our democracy. And if we don't believe that our process is fair and accurate, then our democracy is greatly diminished.
Very robust chain of custody and asset tracking system to make sure that during the off, making sure that these are where they need to be, even when we're not having an election, is just as important as tracking them during the election.
Representative from the Texas Secretary of State's office will provide an update to lawmakers next week during the cybersecurity hearing about the status of election security in Texas. Right now on Big Country, political Dyess commanders and Abilene city leaders have agreed to a new deal for more city services at the Air Force Base. City officials says it's another example of the cooperation and respect in the relationship. KTAB's Claire Kreitz has our eye on Dyess report.
We're proud of our heritage and providing support for those men and women who protect and serve us. And today just is another way that we continue to contribute to that relationship.
For more than 60 years, the city of Abilene and Dyess Air Force Base have created one of the strongest relationships between United States Air Force bases and the surrounding communities.
I've been in the Air Force almost 24 years now. I've been to Dyess Air Force Base. This is my 4th tour to Dyess, and I cannot, amongst all the bases I've been to, around the country and overseas, the relationship between the base and the local community, this is one of the strongest I've ever seen.
And now they're signing an agreement to make the bond even stronger.
Congratulations. Thank you.
The city will now provide solid waste management for Dyess, adding more business to the city.
And we're providing services for the Air Force Base at the same rate we do any commercial customer.
And in turn, the agreement will save the base about $250,000 each year.
And we will take that and put that back into making sure that we take care of our airmen, our families, and we make the base the most lethal base we can for the Air Force.
With the ink hitting the paper, this agreement is just another example of the mutual support between Dyess and the city of Abilene.
We see that going forward for a long, long time to come.
In Abilene, with coverage you can count on, Claire Kreitz, KTAB News.
And this is the 8th agreement of its kind in the Air Force, 5 of those dealing with solid waste. This one provides more savings to Dyess than any of the others combined. And right now, in our eye on the big country, Coleman has a new city manager. The new top non-elected official started on the job Tuesday. Diana Lopez previously worked for the city of Alice. She has a lot of jobs in the municipal government. She becomes the first woman and Hispanic to be the city manager of Coleman.
Deep faith in our religion and a strong work ethic, but above all, respect for myself and for others. My heritage has taught me perseverance, and times are going to be tough sometimes, but we keep going.
Lopez says she hopes that more people, including Hispanic women, will carry on those values. All right, still to come on Big Country Politics, an in-depth interview with Abilene City Manager, an update on the new budget, and the downtown hotel. We'll be back on Big Country Politics.